getting back to this, the 50-hour seminar can affect your life in spite of your hours of preconditioning. If you're 30 years old, it's 263,000 hours. 40 years old, 350,000 hours. 50 years old, 438. 60 years old, 526,000 hours. The 50 hours can change your life. Everybody in this room's life will be changed. Some more dramatically than others. I've already said ad nauseum, those that want change the most and are willing to pay the pay price to action and sacrifice the most will have the most change. It's simple. It's a simple equation. It's like we all know how to lose 10 pounds. If we want to lose 10 pounds, do we want to lose 10 pounds? Are we willing to make the sacrifice, not eat this, not eat that, exercise, etc., etc.? It's a simple formula. I believe Newton's third law applies. For every action, there's a reaction. That's Newton's third law, isn't it? Come on, geniuses. Yeah, well, I'll tell you, it's Newton's third law. Okay. Fuck. Anyway. But of all the kids that have come through here, not everybody's willing to make the sacrifice. It's easier to talk about making the sacrifice till you get out there and start getting the barrage of bullshit and people saying, "Hey, Monty, let's go do clubs." You asked me something yesterday. You said, no. But you asked me something the other day that you know how clubs shut down?
Yeah.
I don't. Okay, I haven't been to you mean like a nightclub or a disco kind of thing? Do they still have disco clubs?
Disco.
They don't have discos anymore? Okay.
Mexico.
Okay. I have not been to a club in 30 years. Sally dragged me to, I don't think they were called clubs when we were at Monaco. I guess maybe Monte Carlo, yeah. Monte Carlo's got clubs, yeah. I take it back. I have been to clubs. But those clubs don't close down. And Monte Carlo, they're not closing down. And there was a nice little guy there. He is the business manager of, who's the drummer from the Beatles? Ringo. He's Ringo's business manager. Has been for 35 or 40 years. And he ate in the same Italian restaurant that Sally and I liked a lot. It's one of the restaurants that we frequent more than once or twice a week. It was really a good restaurant. And luminaries like him, a nice guy. He's a chartered accountant that moved to, legend has it, I don't know if it's true or not, that moved to Monte Carlo 30, 35 years ago to manage the guy's money, Ringo's money. Nice guy, very bright, very intelligent, nice man. But, so I have been to clubs. And Sally's dragged me to a couple in Monte Carlo when we used to have a house there. But I thought about that after you said that, and I don't recall back in the 60s or 70s that clubs did shut down. Because when I would frequent, when I was single, to go to places like that, so I had to take you at your word that they closed down. Because we were talking about Dave Asprey's place is in, by the marijuana shops.
Closed down.
I don't know about the marijuana shops closing down. Huh? Yeah, I don't know about that. But we got two marijuana experts here. Which I don't have nothing against the marijuana model. I really don't. For consenting adults, I have no problem with it. How you define what a consenting adult is a whole other story. But the adult in California is 18. And I'm not so sure. In fact, I'm positive that's not where I would draw the line. I would draw the line probably at 21. But in this country, they're smart because you can't drive till 18. I think that's smart. In California, you can drive at 16. I don't know about the other states. And you can you drink at 18 in these states? No, it's still 21. Okay, well, they should keep it there. But you can drink in this country at 16. 16. And you can drink in this country, it used to be, at 14 if you're with your parents. Is that still, you can drink wine or? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. My kids knew that law. There's no sign, there's not on television, but my children knew that law, because that's about when we were here. And of course, my daughter, God love her, but the boys did this, and the boys did that. Why can't I? And There's nothing like sibling rivalry, especially between a younger sister and older brothers. I didn't go through that, and Sally didn't go through that, so it's a little more difficult for us to relate to. But these hours seem overwhelming when you divide 50 by 526 and all these. But the hours that you spend here, and more importantly, the hours that you spend for the next 12 months are massive. And the return on your investment, if that's how you want to look at it, is geometric. It's geometric. And you will get benefit, not just in the next 12 months, and it doesn't run, you get the most benefit in the first 2-3 months, and then you get the least benefit in the last 2 or 3 months. All of you will be different. And it depends how, remember the connecting the dots? It will depend how quickly you can intellectually connect the dots. One, and then emotionally connect the dots. Some people take longer to emotionally connect the dots than intellectually. Robert connected the dots intellectually as I'm saying them. He can intellectually. He can run the permutations. He can run the spreadsheets in his head, yada, yada. But emotionally, it took him a little longer. And I'm on Good Friday, I'm hoping and praying that as a group and individually, you connect the dots. I'm not so worried about connecting the dots intellectually, because as much as I'm teasing you about not being too bright, everybody's in this room is bright enough to connect the dots intellectually. The challenge will be connecting the dots emotionally, your emotional bank account, so you can do them and jump outside your comfort zone. The sooner you jump outside your comfort zone, the better off you'll be. And I don't mean like I'm outside my comfort zone, Dan. I don't mean like that. I mean, really getting outside your comfort zone. And we will measure how far you get out by your comfort zone. Not by your standards or your benchmark, but by my standards, benchmark, not based on Dan Peña, because you're not Dan Peña, but based on 22 years of doing this. So I'll be able to put you in what standard deviation from the mean you are based on historical data from other people and what they were able to do. Because even though I want you to do what I did, I expect you to be at least in the top quadrant of what other people have done. So I'm not going to measure you against me. Because you don't have my communication skills, you don't have this. I've already went through all that. Some of you will gather great communication skills, and some of the guys there that are on the back wall of fame have extraordinary communication skills today, and they didn't 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago. And they did it by, experience. As I told you, I got an F in public speaking in high school, and I got a D in public speaking in university. And I made 225 speeches that weren't worth a shit in the beginning of my career. And that's how I developed being arguably a world-class public speaker, because I made a lot of bad speeches. What you want to do is you want to read a book that tells you how to be a world-class public speaker and not go through the 200 or 300 speeches. And that's why you listen to these fucking podcasts from these idiots, and why you buy all this other shit from these morons. Because you think somehow it's going to transform your little brain into doing something. And the way you do it is the way Matthew did it. He actually did it. And for the YouTube world, Matthew, you used QLA before you got here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you're an Australian on top of it.
Correct.
Okay? And you arrange financing. It works. Yeah. Not that I need to have validation, and I didn't know, but it does work. Now, the good news is it worked for him. The semi-bad news is if it doesn't work for you the first time, which it may or may not, depending on how hard you push, you're going to think, especially now you think he's a monkey, And so I ought to be able to do what that chimpanzee did. And then when you can't do it, he's already thinking, well, these fucking guys think I'm a monkey, but they're the real monkeys. He's already thinking that about you. You're gonna question whether, gee, what's wrong with me if I can't do it and he did it. And on top, he's an Australian. And for those of you in the pecking order of life, if you're British, I don't want to go there, but there's a whole deal about the Aussies vis-a-vis the Brits and the English. And there's a whole other deal about Scots. We don't have any Scots in here, Scottish people. But we do? I'm sorry. Okay, that's right. Okay. But there's a whole other deal between the English and the Scottish. There's a whole other deal about that. Which I find amusing, having lived here 30 years. My daughter being born here, and my son's going to not Ninewells, that's a hospital, that's where she was born, going to Dundee High, and so that's a whole other thing. It's like the English, Aussie, the Scottish, Braveheart, Sir William Wallace. That's a whole other thing. But you can do it. And the 1O level guy was a Scot. The 1O level guy was a Scot from Edinburgh, or as Americans say, Edinburgh. It pisses me off every time I hear that. But anyway, and it's just possible. Any questions before we close it down? Who's first tonight? Oh my God, the woman. Who's second? Don't everybody jump. Okay. Who's third? Okay. Okay, Fabian, don't get too excited, Fabian. Just relax. We'll see how fucking happy he is tomorrow morning when you are tonight. Now, tonight's Good Friday. You're out on your own. Have you made booking for dinner?
We said it was done for us.
Okay, somebody did it for you. Okay, and the cabs are coming from you, the cars, and to collect you.
Everything's organized.
Okay.
So we were told.
So you were told. Okay.
Should have validated.
Okay, yeah, you should have double-checked. You're right, you should have. No, but I'm sure it was told. Okay, there's no questions. Thank you. Have a nice Good Friday, and we'll see you tomorrow. Okay.